Hello, this is Aimee, or I am Aimee. I am the Black Cat Stitcher here on YouTube and on Instagram, although I'm pretty sure I haven't posted anything on Instagram in probably over a month, but that's okay. um, anyway, this is my Flosstube. I am currently unaware of what number it is, but I think it might be number 9 or 10, one of those two. Anyway, as you can tell, we have again moved back to where the cat tower is because the cat patio is closed for business, and this time it is possibly closed for business permanently because Houdini, that one right there, his name is Hershey, his real name, but he found another way to escape, and his brother, this little black blob over here, Kiss, followed him, and it, gave me a heart attack when I walked into the room to feed my lizards and saw them standing on top of their cat patio, not inside of it. So anyway, they found another hole, and honestly, I'm convinced that no matter what I do, no matter how many holes I find and close, they're going to find another one. Because honestly, I mean, you saw the picture of it last time. It's somewhat of a piece of shit. Pardon my French. Yeah, it has fallen over a couple times, and it's been broken, and it wasn't really in that great of shape to begin with, partly because of my expert or less than expert carpentry job putting it together when I bought it, and also because of the quality of the wood. So yeah, I assumed it was only going to last a couple years, and that was true, but I'm not going to give up on the concept of a cat patio anymore, because, I mean, I might have to save a little bit to maybe build one from scratch, or, you know, or I shouldn't say I, because I've alluded that my carpentry skills are less than expert. My dad will build one for me, maybe, or help me come up with an idea, or buy a higher quality one, and I did some brief Googling, and them things are expensive. But I will save my cash and find a solution for them to allow them to go outside. Maybe, hopefully, again someday. Anyway, but for now, the cat tower. They like the cat tower, so they'll probably hang out here now that the cat patio is no longer an option. But anyway, that's that with my life stories, and I will get into what you all came here for, which is the stitching, and possibly the reading, which I will do in the second half of my video, as always. And yeah, so let's jump right in. First and foremost, I will start with my focus piece, which is the piece that I work on every weekend, and a gift to my father. So if you happen to be my father, please look away. This is what it's going to look like in the end. I'm working on Darth Maul still, this scary looking dude in the center. And this, I forgot my little magic strip of cardboard, so I'll go with that. Anyway, this is where I'm at. I've been filling in the bottom here, and there's a lot of this particular color, which is, I think, 3756, and I'm gonna do the second half of that color over here, next. In fact, after I hang up on this video thing. But yeah, I'm so close. I mean, I'm not gonna hold my breath that I'll finish Darth Maul by next time, but, you know, it's possible, in fact. And then I'll move on to Boba Fett. So yeah, that is where I'm at with Darth Maul. I think I'm going a little bit slower on this one than I have been, just because filling in the background is kind of boring, but I'm going slowly but surely. All right, and the second project that I brought out was I worked on during the first week, right after my last video, and it happened to be a new start. Let me pull up the image. Whoa, that's from Yellowstone. It's not cross stitch. Anyway, it's the pink tree right here, is my new start. And we had a wee bit of a snafu with this one, I must admit. I'll show you what I've got, and I'll explain my snafu. Anyway, this is what I've got so far. Ignore this part, because that is the snafu that I have yet to correct. Basically, you know, this piece is pretty somewhat symmetrical at the top, and this is the wrong color. This silver color is the right color for the background, but I started out with this color because Pattern Keeper told me so, and Pattern Keeper was wrong. But anyway, basically what happened, I think, is this, as you can see, I purchased this on Etsy, and it comes as a set of 4, all on one PDF. And I think Pattern Keeper, when I uploaded it, somehow it noticed that a lot of the symbols were reused, but the same symbols in all 4 of the patterns, but the same symbols also represented different colors in each of the 4 trees. So they took what was that symbol represented in the first pattern that was on the PDF, aka the blue tree right here, and kept the same colors for the same symbols from the blue tree on all 4 pieces. So thank God I noticed it, because I would have, before I got too far, or otherwise I would have been in trouble. What happened was I was working on the background, which makes sense, I mean, and then I was going to try and work on the pink tree. So I looked up the symbol for the pink that I wanted to work on, and it turned out to be gray, which is completely wrong. And there's no way that's right, in fact. So I took a double check on the PDF that I have on my laptop, and sure enough, it was all wrong. So what I did was I took, you know, a scrap piece of paper from work. It's actually a folder that has been cut up so that it can be used as scrap paper. And I wrote all of the colors for all the other 3 patterns because, as I said, the blue tree that I've already started is correct. And the rest of them, the colors are messed up. I mean, if it's an original symbol and it's not used in any of the other 4 patterns, then the color is correct, but otherwise it's not. And so I just have to make sure to, when I find that, or looking at a symbol on not Past Perfect, that's a museum collections management software, not the correct one. Pattern Keeper, this is in the frame, and Dad has probably seen it. Sorry, Pa. But anyway, it's not correct on Pattern Keeper, so I'll have to double check every time. But, you know, I'll just have to make sure when I upload patterns a little bit more like that, come in packs like that, and be a little bit more careful. Because I know you can check the colors before you press, you know, press enter and see, make sure that they're correct and all that jazz. So yeah, that was not fun to discover you're lying directly on top of my next pattern there, little bug. You are going to be disturbed, sweet. Yeah, Kiss loves attention and cuddling, which is great, but not when you're trying to film a video and you're laid your patterns beside you and he's sitting directly on top of them. But anyway, this is the next project that I worked on. This is actually not cross stitch, it's embroidery. I'm working on this second purple butterfly. And basically, it's almost not worth showing you because I really didn't get much done. But yeah, I was working on the purple butterfly. I had like half of this first section of the wing done, and then I completed another and, I don't know, almost finished a third. But anyway, yeah, I didn't really work too much on this one for some reason. I guess wasn't into cross stitch, or I guess this as a project, so I ended up just doing other things, I guess. And yeah, I think I might have to, for that one, find another way to hold it. I like doing it in a hoop, like I have it, but that wood hoop is not tight enough, and it doesn't have enough, you know, it's not enough tension on that particular piece of fabric because it's really thin fabric, not like Aida, which is what I'm used to working on. So I think I might go, next time I go to the big city 2 hours away where they have a Michael's, get one of those plastic hoops that I've seen people use. Specifically, I think, what's her name? Stitching Jewels is her channel name. She uses those, you know, colorful, like, orange and green plastic hoops. So I think I'm gonna try that out for that and see if I can get enough tension. I mean, maybe I have a 6x6 Q-snap. Maybe that'll work also. I don't know. Let me know if you've done cross-stitch or embroidery on really thin fabrics and whether or not a Q-snap would work, or what method of holding it, like scroll frame, Q-snap, hoop, etc. What do you use and what gives you the best tension? So yeah, that's it for cross stitch. And well, I suppose I can show you my knitting. I didn't actually prepare that, so pardon me. I'll have to grab it. Oh, goodness gracious. Anyway, I didn't do much knitting either, but I finished the white stripe and I've started the next color, which is this brownish color, and I've legit got one row of it done. So yeah, I didn't do much knitting, but I did complete this yellow, I know my colors, obviously, white stripe. So yeah, anyway, that's it for cross-stitching. Well, for now. I will spin the wheel at the end of my video to pick my projects for the next couple weeks, but first I'm going to talk about reading. I've got one book. Hello, Kiss. You have come back. I'm sorry I disturbed you. Do you want to say hello to the people? No? You're shy? That's okay. Anyway, I read one book, two books, I guess. I don't know if I talked about this one in my last video or not, so I will repeat myself. Anyway, I read a book. Gosh, now I'm forgetting the title. But it was the second book written by Donald Harstead. He's the local Iowa author that my mom recommended to me. And I was going to start the third book called The Big Thaw, but I'm going to hold off on that. I mean, I like his books, but he's also kind of, how do I explain this? He writes how I would imagine a cop would talk, which is very straightforward and dry a little bit. He is a little bit colorful in places, and he inserts, you know, a little bit of, I suppose, good old boy humor in there. But he's not a bad author. It's just the other books that my mom and I have been reading together by Linda Castillo are way better. And that is the second book that I'm talking about, which is what's called Her Last Breath by Linda Castillo. It's the fourth book, or the fifth book in the series that she wrote about Kate Burkholder, the chief of police. And this book, Hello Kiss, yes, was about, it's actually really kind of sad. A Amish family, a father, and three of his kids were at a doctor's appointment in town because the three kids had genetic disabilities or learning disabilities of some sort because they were Amish, and they talked a little bit in the book about, you know, the small gene pool within the Amish community and, you know, some of the genetic disorders that are more prominent in that community. I don't know if this is true or not, but that's the premise of the book, I guess, the background, that the kids were all disabled because of their genetics. But anyway, they were coming back from their appointment in town at a clinic and on their buggy, and a guy in a truck came around a sharp turn and ran into the buggy, killing all of them except for one boy. His name was David, and it was really sad, and that's a tragedy in and of itself, especially if it was an accident but it turns out it's not an accident, and the dude did it on purpose. So the book is, you know, trying to figure out who done it and why he did it on purpose. And yeah, it was a really good book. I mean, it's, again, she has this knack for, I guess, switching things up at the end and throwing in a little surprise. Because, I mean, there ended up being two culprits. I guess that's somewhat of a spoiler, I apologize. But the first culprit you could eventually figure out, and, you know, by the time that they got to the solving of the murders, you know, like, yeah, that guy makes sense. But the second person was a complete surprise. I would have never expected it at all. And yeah, it was a good book, and I have started, and I will continue. I'm like halfway through it. The sixth book, and I will talk about that one in my next video. But yeah, I recommend this series. It's very interesting, and yeah, I like it a lot. Anyway, I think that is all that I have, except for the plans portion, aka I will spin the wheel, the tiny decisions wheel, and pick my projects for the next video that I'm going to work on before the next video, I guess. And I'd mentioned in my last video that I noticed that it somewhat picks the same projects over and over again, but I think I fixed that, to be honest. I was messing around with the settings before my last video, and, well, what did I do? I flipped on a button. I pressed the edit wheel button because I was adding, you know, my projects. This part right here where you can add and subtract your projects. And there's an option at the bottom that says non-repeating selection. And I turned that on.
Why are so many customers complaining
Gosh,
today?
an ad. Sorry about that. Anyway, and as you can see, the options that I spun last time are blacked out. And they're not going to be repeated again until I reset the wheel. So basically that'll allow me to cycle through all of my projects before, and then once I reset the wheel, we can start from scratch and do it all over again. So I think I've solved the repeating problem. So if anybody else uses the Tiny Decisions wheel and they also have the same problem, here is your solution. Pass it along. Anyway, I'm probably not the first person to discover that, actually, but, you know, just thought I'd share. So anyway, I'm going to spin the wheel now. Alright, first week we're gonna do Shy Cat, which is the cat that goes like this, one that I have that I'm doing in anchor threads. So yeah, we're going to hopefully be able to finish the other side, because that's, again, a pretty symmetrical piece. I did one corner of the black 404, and now I'm going to go to the opposite side and finish the 404 on the other side. Unless I get bored, and then I'll just pick a different color. But, you know, that's how it goes. Alright, second week, let's go. Pink tree. Alright, so I already selected or started the pink tree because I promised I would start the pink tree first, but I had 2 possible new starts on my wheel, and last week I actually spun the orange tree, but I said that I would do the pink one first because, like I said, I promised. And so now, this week, and the second week, I'm going to start the orange tree. I know that's confusing, and I apologize, but yeah, I'm going to start the orange tree, and yeah, I'm glad that I caught the color discrepancy thing so that I can, you know, yes, I'll actually show you the orange tree because I have the picture. This one, yes. I'm glad I caught the color discrepancy, and I can do it right the first time this time. But, you know, it wasn't all that bad. I only had to unpick a little bit. I left a little bit of the background so I could explain, I guess, on this video, what happened. But I unpicked, I had some of that silver color that I, on the other side, and I unpicked all of that and tried to reuse as much of that thread as possible and on the opposite side. Anyway, that's besides the point. Anyway. That is the end of this video. I'm sorry that I had a 1-day delay, but I was just really tired yesterday, so I didn't film, but I am getting to do it today, and I'm glad you came to watch, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.